What you got, Makisha?
Lemon water. Lemon water.
Oh, you so bougie. You gotta put your finger up when you drink it. So welcome, everybody, to the Billionaires Club. First episode ever of Spill the Tea. Dun, 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 dun.
Let's have it.
Find some drums. Dun, 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 dun. Super excited. Look, because we're going to have all kinds of topics for you guys. And we also want you guys to chime in and tell us what you want to discuss as well. But today, seeing as how it's our first episode and seeing as how it's October, oh, you like that picture right there? Right there.
Y'all see the picture? Woo. That's how we are the time. I bet.
Take me back to my little Kim days.
I was a pink wall, like yes, pink wall, yes. Okay. So, anyways, I guess since we're all sharing on different pages, I guess we'll go ahead and say, I'm Tracy Datz. I'm in Los Angeles, California. Ladies, who are you? Where you at?
I'm D. Renee. I'm from Philly. So yeah, I'm out here in Philly, y'all.
Whoop, whoop, Philly.
Roz, where you at?
I'm right here. Hey, I'm Roz. I'm from the ATL.
Hey.
And for those who don't know me, Makisha, Grady baby, straight from the ATL. So
Grady baby. You're not from the ATL if you wasn't born at the Grady Hospital, okay?
Yo,
that's what they mean by that. All right, guys. So I guess today we are talking about breast cancer. So I guess what I want to know is who on this line has been affected and how? Family members, friends? Have you ever had a scare? What's the tea? What is the tea in your life regarding breast cancer, ladies?
Well, go ahead, D.
No, I was just going to say I'm going to be looking at my Facebook as well to see if there's any comments about it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, perfect. Well, as you know, for me, I've actually been through it. This, what I wear, actually represents what I've been through. I had a lady over in Hawaii. She personally made this for me and my family, so it's exclusive, right? So those you don't know, I definitely have went through breast cancer. I went through the treatments. I went through radiation. Had both the breasts gone, but they back now. So they gave me some better ones. Right?
You saw that?
Wait, no, I gotta know. Wait, you moving fast. Wait, did you lose your boobs, Makisha?
That's what she just
both
said. And then she just shook
both of them.
Just in case you missed it, she shook boobs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
These are new ones. Yeah, these are the ones I picked out.
You picked them out special?
I did.
Well, they're very fitting and they're very cute. They fit your body good.
Money magnet. I see it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's back it on up like a U-Haul truck.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find out? Did you do one of those self-exams they talk about, or?
No. I was one of those ones who were like, hey, I consider myself healthy. I was in the military, so I consider myself nice and fit. So back in, I think it was 2009, I think it was. That's when we was going to the doctors on base. So I had one was bigger than the other, but I thought that was just a normal thing, right? Because we do have, one a little bigger than the other.
Most of us do. I do. Yeah, my right one is heavier.
Yeah, exactly. So I assumed it was right.
They just
Y'all know one is bigger, okay? Everyone has one that's
one is a little bigger. Yeah.
Which one of y'all bigger?
Now she checking. Now she checking for it.
Let's see. Okay.
So I went over to Fort McPherson here in Atlanta. So I went to the doctor over there, and she was like, "Oh, you're just drinking too much caffeine. Stop." Because I drink Mountain Dews every day. Not now, but I used to every day. So when she said that, I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." But then, maybe a year or two later, my best friend of mine, she was like, "Hey, that ain't normal. And if you don't get it checked, then we can't be friends anymore." So I was like, "Wow."
Oh, she loves you.
Well,
Yeah.
she told me the same thing.
Yeah.
She told me the same thing.
That's a good friend. That's the type of friend that you need in your life.
She put it on me too, so I know what she means.
Because because I wouldn't have never went back. So when I went to another doctor now I got a primary care doctor, which is a civilian doctor. I went to him. He was like, I don't know. It's to this day, I still like so grateful. I was talking to Roz about him earlier. And what he said was that if you were my sister, I would want to check everything. So he did the ultrasound. We did the breast smashing one. I can't think of the name right now.
Mammogram?
Yes. My mind went blank for a minute.
It is a breast smashing one, huh? Ooh.
Yeah, so he did all those. Then we finally did the biopsy, and then that's when it came into play. But it took a second opinion and somebody who cares about me being like, hey, I'm not going to be your friend no more. You don't get yourself checked out. We can't be friends.
So were they able to say like how long it had been in your boob without you knowing?
No, they couldn't tell me that. They just told me how big it was.
Wait a minute, real quick. So was it just in one of your boobs?
Yeah, it was in one. And they said it's most likely that it will go to the other. So I just got both removed.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And how was that? You were put to sleep?
For the surgery? Yes. Because
okay, I know. I have like 50 questions at once. I'm sorry. How does it even escalate to there? Because in my, ignorance, because again, I don't know anybody who has had breast cancer, thankfully. Nor is it in my family or nor anything like that. So I want to back it on up. Is that not a last resort to cut off your boobs?
It is. So the first resort, of course, is chemotherapy. We're going to have to talk about that. First resort is chemotherapy. Then after that, they do the surgery. So the reason for the surgery is because they're saying it might come back, right? And at the time, I was like, okay, for one, the military paid for everything. So I didn't have to worry about the plastic surgeon. The military paid for everything. Yes. Yeah, so when they was like, hey, you can get a surgery, I was like, I was working with A cups in the first place. So I was like, hey.
Were you?
Yes.
You look like you had big boobs. Like to me, you look, knowing your body shape and stuff, I thought you had like D. Renee's boobs.
How does that work? You look like you had big boobs.
No, doesn't she? I'm saying her shape, her figure. If y'all know Makisha, she has a nice figure. And so I would have thought that she was like sacked before.
And it's so funny because you guys all looked at me like, oh, she don't have any boobs. And then when we all got in person, you was like, where did they come from?
Like, where did
did you order them off of Amazon before you came?
Listen, for those that don't know, Dee Renee is a yoga teacher. So she spends most of her time in sports bras. And so we didn't really know how big her boobs were, right? Because she's always in a sports bra. And we go out to lunch one day. We recently just came back from South Carolina, all of us linking up. And she comes out in this dress like ba bing. And I was like, who are you right now? What is that? Where did this just come from?
Yes. Yes, it was very shocking to all of us, Dee.
Yeah, I know. All of you were like, literally like, did you get them from Amazon? Like, where did you get them from?
Okay. Here I go again, questions. Now, the purpose of chemo was to kill the tumor?
So it's supposed to go in and kill it, but it kills everything, like good and bad, right? So I went through like a lot of ups and downs while I was going through chemo. Like my last 2 rounds of chemo, I didn't take because it was literally killing me. Like my fingernails were coming off, my skin was shedding. Like it was literally, I got put in the hospital. It was literally killing me. I couldn't take the last 2 rounds.
Because it's poison, right? It's like poison in your body.
And the bad bacteria.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you said the last 2 rounds. Geez, how many rounds did you do?
I think at the time they had me down for 8.
Wow.
And what does a round consist of, time-wise?
I think I was sitting there and I was like the youngest person in there at the time. So I was sitting there around all these older people and they're looking at me like, what you doing in here? And I think it's like 30 minutes to an hour, I think it is. Yeah, you just sit in there, it's going through I still have a little scar through your port and you just sitting there and slowly taking in the poison and
I've seen it on the movies and it looks like a depressing setting. Like there's just chairs of lined up people, right? Like, oh my God. What was, do they do anything to help you emotionally? So that's the physical aspect, right? Emotionally, what did your world look like? Do the doctors offer therapy? How was your friends and family supportive? And like, what was it like emotionally?
Emotionally, it was a roller coaster. Like I was already pretty mentally fragile before it all happened. So once it happened, it just brought me deeper into that state. So like things would happen. Say, for instance, I was trying to stay because by this time I lost my hair, my eyelashes, um, vagina hair. I mean, everything left. Underarms hair,
Wow.
everything goes. When you're going through chemo, everything goes. So mentally, I was a big person that was big on my hair, right? So when it left, it was like I skin to the bone, like no hair. So mentally, that got to me, and then I didn't really bring it out. So even when I told my people at the unit, they thought I was kidding because if you guys know, I'm like a very sarcastic person, so you can't tell I'm being serious or not.
Yeah.
We know, but I guess the viewers maybe don't, but we know you're dry humor, girl.
Right? So a lot of stuff didn't really comprehend to me until one day I was sitting there getting ready to go to a friend of my house, and I was getting ready to paint my nails, right? Then the thing broke off. You know, you were painting the nails and the what's name, the handle
Yeah,
on
the top of it breaks off.
yeah, it broke off. I just broke down in tears. Like at that moment, from that little thing, because I had been holding everything in, because I try to be strong for my family, for my friends, and a lot of people too. Like a lot of people weren't around, except for like some close friends. Even people I didn't consider close, they were around because a lot of people were scared.
So I have a quick question for you because it makes me think about negative and positive talks. So what type of talks were you having with yourself? And did you feel like those people that may have not been around probably weren't around because they didn't know how to engage you?
Mm. Yeah, I think that might have been it because nobody was used to seeing me at this point. Because like I said, my hair was gone, I was getting small. Like I was just, my skin was like way dark. Like things were, I was just transitioning, right? So they might didn't know how to take me, right? And then a lot of things I was saying to myself. Well, actually, I was honestly ready to die. But my best friend, she was there the whole time, and she was saying positive things to me. She would come over, she would clean the house, she would make sure I ate, and I was literally just, like you said, it's all about that self-talk because I was ready to die, but I had to
Thank God
borrow
for this.
her belief
That's
in
fun.
yeah.
You know what? I like that you said that, Z, because this probably sounds like so bad, but there are people like me. And so I'm going to be honest, okay?
Mhm.
People don't know what to say sometimes,
And they
right?
don't-
Like I wasn't around when this happened to Makisha. And like I said, I don't know anyone that this has happened to, but I will tell you, my uncle, who is kind of like, in my eyes, like a superhero, like I grew up, he's my dad's older brother. I grew up like, you know, oh my gosh, like I've never seen him break down. And when he first started getting dialysis and I went in the hospital to see him, I didn't know what to say, you guys. I felt so stupid. Like I wanted to be there for him, but I didn't want to like baby him, so to speak, because he's always been like, you know, macho man uncle. And I said the stupidest shit. You know what I said? I said get well soon, like I was a damn Hallmark card.
It
Wow.
happened though.
You said it was stupid. It's just at that moment, that's what your heart was telling you. It's not that it was, because I can go and say how when you see somebody in that state and they're really, really sick and you don't have the words to say, you're just trying to show them that you're there for them, even if the words don't come across the way that you want it to. But he still took that, even if you said get well soon, he still was like, she cares.
Because he can feel
It's,
it. You
you
would
can feel it.
I want to
You
seem like it's genuine, you know? I'm like, what the hell is a get well soon? I've never said that to someone in my life.
the point that you were there.
It was the point that you were there, and even though he knew you didn't have the words to tell him or say to him, but he still felt that you know what I'm saying, you were still there present for him. It's not all of sometimes about the words, it's just your presence there. Because I know I've been in a state, and I wasn't there either when Makisha went through it, but I've had similar things happen where I've actually seen people near death or dying pretty much, and I didn't know have the words. But sometimes just you being there and say get well, sometimes if you put that in their mind, they'll fight you telling them to get well, because you're telling them that you want to see them again, you want to see them well, so they're going to fight a little bit harder just because you said get well. So it's not, don't make it seem like it was bad, but it was just the thought of being there with them.
I want to bring it back real quickly though, because it's an easy thing to like shut down. right?
Mhm.
It's really easy to shut down. So that means that you close people off at the same time.
Yeah.
So how important was it to have, you know, the support, but not only that, those positive talks to yourself? Like, where were you at in the brink of, I'm ready to die, I'm done with this, to moving to where you are now? And I know that probably was gradual steps.
That's a
Layer to that and add, what does support look like in an ideal world? What did you want your friends and family to do? How can people who are maybe watching this, how can they show up for people? How do you show up?
okay.
That's good.
Okay, I'm gonna try to remember all the questions. No,
Okay, sorry, I know we're like
I'm gonna try to remember.
Positive talks. How did you get yourself into positive talks?
Okay, okay. So here's the thing. Like, I never did get to that point of the positive talk until after I made a decision. Like, hey, I'm ready to die. It's gonna take me. I was laying in the bed. I was like, just take me. My best friend happened to be over there. She touched my head, and all I remember, I woke up in the hospital. So after I got in the hospital, it's something about being in the hospital. I was in there for like a whole week, and I was like, ew, this is not what I, this is not this. No, I'm not ready to go. I was just playing. I'm not ready to go. So then after then I got at the hospital. That's when I made that decision. Like, okay, I can't be so I don't want to use the incorrect words, but I want to make sure that now I have a reason to live. I got my nieces, I got my nephews, I'm the best auntie ever, right? So I couldn't leave them behind. I couldn't do that. So that definitely was that transition there. And for anyone who's watching this and you're wondering, okay, I got somebody going through things, whether it's cancer, whether just sick or ill, how do I really, show them that I'm there? That's the thing. Like me, I'm a very internal type person. So I'm not going to show my emotions. I'm not going to show that I'm going through things, but it's those certain people and their family members, like my grandmother's was there, my aunt was there, my best friend was there, and some couple people from work, but they knew how to push past that. And so if I'm like, no, I'm good, I don't need anything, they're like, hey, I'm bringing this anyway. Hey, I'm doing this anyway. Hey, I'm showing up anyway. Hey, I'm going to call you anyway. I know you say you feel like being bothered. I'm going to call you anyway so that you know that I care. So you just got to sometimes push through those barriers.
And that was helpful for you, right?
That was very helpful.
Anyway, no matter how you said don't do it, it still was helpful, right?
Yes. Yes. Very helpful.
And see, that's good to know, because I'm almost the kind of person where if someone says they're good, they're good. I would take that.
Like, all right, peace.
Yeah. No, seriously. No, I would be like, because I would want to, I'm big on honoring boundaries. And so I wouldn't want to be intrusive. But I guess maybe that takes it to the next level. What is your relationship with that person, right? Mm-hmm. Because if it's your best friend, if it's your grandma, they're like, girl, I don't care if you want space. I'm about to come over.
That's different.
Yeah. By the way, Save says that your hair is now awesome.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
It's all healthy and whatnot too.
We also have somebody named Darius. You are my hero and a Black queen.
The wise man has spoken. Thank you, Darius.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. So so I know I keep saying that I don't know anybody with it, right? And sometimes I think, and just to kind of tell you my logic behind it, my family is obviously from another country, right? Like I'm a first generation American. All my family's from the Fiji Islands, but we have no cancer in our family at all. Not even breast cancer, but just no cancer. Like people die of like blood pressure, heart, a lot of heart attacks, diabetes is really common in our culture, right? But like not cancer. And so it made me think, and then I think statistically as a whole, America has just a way bigger cancer rate than other developed countries, right? And so that brings me to the point to think, you think it's our diet?
Our diet and the medicine too.
Yes.
All of it.
I definitely would say it's definitely both. Because before I went through treatment, I can eat sweets all day. I can eat sweets all day. I was eating pork sandwiches, bacon this, bacon that, cornbread with bacon, everything, right? So
bacon on my cornbread, bacon in my cornbread,
bacon everything, bacon on the side with tea.
Bacon in the water.
Tea and bacon.
I have bacon water.
I like anything with bacon. So like I noticed too, I started to heal a lot faster. Come here, I said I didn't take the last 2 rounds of chemo. But my best friend was shoving broccoli down my throat, shoving all kind of stuff. I mean, not literally shoving down my throat, but she was making sure I was eating that stuff. And I started to feel better, like faster. And I went to my oncologist. She was like, "What are you doing?" Because my numbers were starting to improve, and it had to
Just
do.
by changing your eating habits.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when did you decide F this chemo and let's just remove these bad boys? Is that something that you're able to say? Can a person going through this say that at any time? Do they have that choice, or does your doctor have to agree, or do they have to suggest? What's the process for that?
I'm glad you asked that, because me not really knowing, I thought I had to do all this stuff.
Oh.
My oncologist, she's very aware of stuff. So when I was like, I don't want to take the last 2 rounds of chemo. Do I have to? She's like, it's all your choice. No, you don't have to. Like, this whole thing is your choice. You choose what you want to do. We're just recommending, and then you can choose what you want. So yeah, everything's a choice. Yeah, but I didn't know that. As soon as the doctor said I had to do this, I got to do it.
So you could have started from the beginning with getting, you know, I'm trying to say it correctly, like removing of the breasts and getting new ones from the beginning.
Yeah. So the way that I did some chemo, and then they removed my original, my A cups. Then they gave me these nice ones. Well, this nice one was after I finished chemo, because it destroys everything. So then I had to do these thing called tissue expanders, because remember I had the A cup, so they had to pump my skin out to get a little bigger. So if I would have known that I didn't have to go through chemo, I would have just got the surgery. Yeah.
I have another question for you. I know Tracy, you're on the edge of her seat with her.
I had another one too. Okay, you go.
Real quick though. So let me ask you, I know that you said that you were a pretty active and healthy person. Do you feel like after this scare that you became even more active? Because I know that you do like archery, you do rowing, you do other things that keep you active. Did you already have such an active lifestyle, or do you feel like you got more active since?
I honestly think I got more active afterwards, because I was in the military. So beforehand, I was still regular active, like doing what they told us to do. I had to pass the PT test. So I was doing what I had to do to pass the test. But afterwards, I think that's when I started becoming really more active, because I knew that it helped with my mental, as far as too with my, my physical. But just in case they didn't see it already.
Everybody put it up.
Muscle. If you guys don't know Makisha, that is her signature. Okay?
Yes, yo.
Go stalk her page. It's like this all the time.
All the time, every picture.
All the time.
Just in case y'all didn't see it. That was
So what I was going to ask is, so typically breasts are considered like elective surgery. So a lot of time insurances don't cover that and things of that nature. In this instance, now the removal was medically necessary, right? And maybe this is just my brain because I'm in the medical field. The removal was medically necessary, but not necessarily getting a new set of twins was necessary. Was that treated as an elective surgery, or was it treated as mandatory in terms of finances?
I remember that the military paid for everything. So if it would have been considered like elective, I wouldn't have got a chance to do it. Because what they think of it is, as far as now my breast, how in the military they give you the prosthetics.
Yeah.
So consider the implants as prosthetics. So they removed some limbs, which are my breasts, and they had to give me back some which are my new boobs, or prosthetic. You can say it like that.
So that's dope, because then we can safely say, for the women who are like, hey, I'm done with this chemo shit, let's just get rid of it. Then definitely, if you're considering that route, you probably don't have to worry about the finances of getting replacements, because I think that in that case, then it's not treated as an elective surgery. You have to replace what you took out.
Another question real quickly. So because you were feeling like ill, you were feeling sick, going through all the chemo and stuff like that, do you feel as though after you got your new boobs that you started to feel like more alive? And like, how was the transition? Like, were you already feeling alive before you got, look, now you got me holding my boobs. Are you feeling alive before you got the boobs, or was it like after you got it?
That's a good question. So it didn't even have anything to do with the boobs. What's crazy is remember I told you I was big on my hair. So once I ended up losing the hair, I was straight bald. So I wore the wig for a minute, and I was like, this thing is hot, turned it off. And then I was just straight, I'm gonna say bald head, because my brothers were younger. They would just say bald head. So I was like straight bald head, right? And then that was where the confidence came in at. Because it was like, man, I don't need my hair. Yeah. I don't need this. Yeah, I don't need this. So it wasn't even the booze. The booze was just extra, you know. But the whole transition for me was the hair. So this is the longest that I had it since all my hair started growing. I normally have it super low where I can just brush it and keep it moving. Yeah, so
How long after does it start growing back?
I would say I stopped chemo before the surgeries in November, about maybe October, maybe a couple of months. It all depends on too what you're putting in. Like I was eating hella vegetables, hella stuff that would, you know, have everything come back in a certain way. But yeah.
And I'm gonna get all in your business. Did it all grow back?
It did, except for like certain parts, so like my hair, you won't see it there. Like the left part, left on my underarm, it grows very slowly, but the right side do. But down there, it just started coming back all of a sudden.
That's literally how we be talking on our calls.
Now, I got a question though. I want to take it back though, because I think we skipped that part. Like when you found out, what was going through your head? Like how were you feeling? Like, can you just go into details on like when you at the time you found out?
Yeah, so remember, I keep stuff in. So when I found out, I was actually away at training, and I had already been through the biopsy with the doctor and everything. And they referred me to another doctor once they found out I had everything. So when I came back, that's when I got the news, because I was going out of town. And the doctor's like, "Hey, we need you to come in when you get back." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay, whatever." My best friend was like, "Hey, you want me to go with you?" For what? It's just a doctor's appointment, right? So then I go into the doctor's appointment. The lady has tears in her eyes, the doctor. The assistant has tears in her eyes, and I'm like,
They started off wrong.
I was like, "Oh my God." So then she tells me, and she's like, "Hey, you have this stage, you have the stage 2, Bravo, or something like that, of breast cancer. These are the treatments you're going to have to go through." And in my head, remember, I'm sitting there alone because I had already denied the assistance, because I was like, no, it's an appointment.
Yeah, you strong.
I was gonna ask you, did they have anyone for your psyche to be there when you received this news?
No, when I was in there, I was in there immediately. Remember, I was already in a mental fragile state before that. So I'm looking at all the things I could kill myself with. I'm like, oh my God, because in my head, all I'm seeing are people that I see on the commercials that's all frail looking and their hair is all gone. And immediately, so as soon as they told me that news, they was like, "Okay, I'm going to give you a minute." And they walk out. So immediately I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I can use that. I can use that. But it still didn't really comprehend, because I wasn't crying or anything. It was just, yeah, it was when I first found out, it was very emotional on the inside, put it like that. Yeah, I went through a lot of different things.
Did it really not register until you started seeing the physical effects? Like when they told you, it's probably like kind of surreal, and then it's like, whoa, this shit is happening.
Yeah, like I said, remember, I was big on my hair. So when I had to go to the doctor, and they do the pre-shave or whatever, but then once I started going through chemo, it really started coming out. That was it, because then I'm combing my hair and it's coming out, and I'm like,
wow. Wait a minute, because you said that it's a pre-shave, and no, we don't know. I don't know. The viewers might not know. So wait a minute. Before it falls off, they make you shave your hair?
You don't have to do it beforehand, because once you start taking chemo, it's going to start coming out anyway. And so you're going to have patches all over your head. So then what they do is go ahead and just shave the rest of it off for you. And then as you go through chemo, then it becomes super bald. So that way you're not just walking around with.
So let me ask you real quick. As it's falling out of your hair, what was that moment like for you? Like, did you instantly start crying, or like, what was that like?
What's crazy, like I said, remember, I didn't cry until the top didn't come off the nail polish. This was like months down the line.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So you were building it up.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I was still just going through the motions, like we was sitting in there and they was doing the shave or whatever. My best friend was in there, tears in her eyes. I'm like, she's like, "Are you gonna be okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm cool. So yeah, so I didn't do any crying until the nail polish. That was like the final piece.
Did you feel the need to like be strong for everybody else? Because they would be more scared.
Yeah, I did, because I was like, I don't want anybody, being, like you said, all soft around me. It's like, no, still be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Still use your big girl voice. I'm not a kid.
Oh my God.
When you told you said your best friend, you didn't have room to go. Like, what did you do when you had to tell them, like, this is what you, when you went to the doctor, this is what they told me. And now you got to find a way to tell your family and your friends, like, pretty much this is what it was.
What's crazy is I went back to work. I went straight back to work. Yeah, I went to work.
Yeah, because you want to
remember,
go
it's not
back to your
clinical.
regular life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went back to work. So I
You
went
want
to
to go
work.
right back to your regular life.
Yeah. And they was like, hey, what happened at the appointment? And I was like, oh, so we went into my bedroom. She had like this little cubicle, went in there. It was her and two other the people that I trust went in there. And I was like, yeah, they said I have cancer. And literally how I'm saying it to y'all was how I said it to them. They're like,
Wow.
Said it, Makisha.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, we can order a pizza. We can order a pizza. Don't trip.
At noon.
like they thought I was playing.
Pepperoni.
They thought I was playing. They was like, you for real, Styles? And I'm like, yeah. Because my last name is Styles. So they was like, you for real, Styles? I'm like, yeah, that's what the doctor just said. Immediately, all of them bust out crying. And I'm like, yeah, that's what happened.
And you know what? That I know you for all these years, I can see you actually sitting there like, yeah. Because I can see her doing that for real because I've known her for a long time. She don't show emotions. It's like she only shows it to certain people when she showed the emotion. So even if she trusts you, she still will be like, yeah.
So that brings the next question. Did it create anxiety inside of you to even have to tell people what you were going through?
It wasn't even an anxiety thing. It was just a point of, I took it as a sign of, like I said, I think of things different. A sign of weakness. It's not like, man, this thing, so now I got to tell people and they're going to be acting all funny towards me. And so like, it was kind of like the elephant in the room. So I only told like certain family members that I knew that they would spread the word.
Yeah.
It just went like that.
Yeah. You know, family is good for doing that.
Yeah.
Ooh, they get on the phone immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Girl.
Have you heard? I got something to tell you. You sit down.
Yep. I let them spread the word. Yes.
Yeah. And then
Okay, so let's talk a little myth versus fact. They say, some say, and then some people think that these are conspiracy theories and some people think otherwise. Do you guys think getting checked too often, such as like getting mammograms too often, can put you at a higher risk for catching breast cancer?
No, they do. I know, like with certain people, if they already have a history or like family history of having breast cancer, they do them a lot because they don't want it. I think they go like every 6 months, I think.
But some people say, and you know, who are these people? I don't know. But some people say that by going more often, you're actually increasing your risk. Now, it's not said to be a fact, but I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that.
Okay. I would say, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't know if it increases the what's name, but it just, to me, something's wrong with if you're going in every 6 months and your breast smush down. I mean, I don't think that's normal. Put it like that. You go like once a year, whenever you're supposed to go, like, maybe okay, but not so often. Me too, with the way that I vibe now, I think that too, if I'm going it often, I'm thinking about it's going to happen. And when I think about something's going to happen, probability that's going to happen. It's just
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you guys, Dee Renee and Roz, do you know anybody other than Makisha who's dealt with breast cancer?
I personally do not know anyone who dealt with breast cancer. Cancer, yes, but not specifically breast cancer. But you know, they do tell us, you know, to feel on your boobs when you're in the shower and even laying down, like things like that. Do you feel like those things help as far as checking yourself out? I mean, me myself, I'm not an advocate for getting mammograms. And I know my GYN, she wants me to do it when I get to that point that she told me to do it at. But me, myself, I really do not desire to take that route. And that's just my personal preference. But
what are you supposed to be looking for? Just a bump, a lump? What are you supposed to be looking for?
I don't.
When
you do it here, you're supposed to be feeling if your lymph nodes or something is swollen, or
it's going to feel something different. It's not going to feel right. Like when I was doing it. You all right over there, D? You good?
That wine got a little harsh in your throat. You need some water for that wine?
I'm going to take some more wine down.
No, it's funny because I've never, for one, I'm 34 years old, so I'm not of the age where people started talking to me about it. And because there's no family history, so no one says to me, oh, are you doing self-checks? Like I've never even, so I wouldn't even know what a self-check consists of. But in my mind, I assume a tumor is gonna feel like a knot, the forehead, right?
Yeah,
You're just feeling around to look for a knot.
It was a certain way you have to do. I mean, I don't want to give a straight line.
Motion, right?
Yeah.
You have to have your arm up. I know you have your
arm about to get
up.
a whole bunch of views.
I know.
You gotta go around. It's a motion that they do pretty much around your boob, and they feel it. Because I've had my checks whenever I go. I haven't ever had a mammogram, but whenever she goes, she does an examination. And I've tried to do it on myself, but I don't know if I'm really doing it right, because they say you don't do it with your bra on. Pretty much, you like in the shower or either you're laying down. That way you can feel the tissue a little bit better. And if anything feels out of the ordinary from just your glands or anything, then that's when you like, okay, let me have a doctor to check it out.
So let's swing it back to you, Ross. You said you do know somebody. Was it like your immediate family?
I mean, no, she's a cousin. It's a cousin-in-law. Pretty much what I was saying, my cousin. But yeah, she's battling now and she's doing great.
Okay. Is she going the chemo route?
Yeah, she is. She is. And she's I don't know exactly how long or anything like that, because I don't want to put a lot of her business out, because I didn't,
Sure.
Don't want to
consent. No, absolutely. I was just wondering if it ran in your family, like your actual.
No, my mom thought so, but when it came out, I think hers was negative, but they still had my mom to like check every like 6 months just to be on the safe side. But since then I've get checked and I haven't had any issues. So no, from my knowledge, I don't know of anybody in my immediate family, like with my mom, sisters, anything. Now cancer, yes. And like you said, heart attacks, yes, but as far as like breast cancer, no. But I still, like, in the back of my mind, want to make sure.
You know, it's really valid. I'm glad you brought that up. No one in my immediate family doesn't have breast cancer. I was like the first.
Oh,
so it wasn't a family thing. It wasn't a family thing. Like I was tested negative for the whole gene and everything. It's just that I happened to get destroyed, I guess. Yeah.
Wow.
That's important. That's important because a lot of people think that if it doesn't run in your family, it can't happen to you.
Exactly.
So I'm so glad you pointed that out, because I'm one of those people where I'm like, well, nobody in my family has it, right? So I just feel like immune a little bit, So that's great. So yeah, let's talk about immunities.
Right, but I also want to bring up, before we go into immunity, I want to bring up the fact that it could be also different variables, different factors, such as environment. Who knows what type of chemicals that she may have been around in the military, you know what I mean? So it might not even be just, genetic based. It could be different foods that we take in, especially like she was eating, like a lot of pork or whatever. I know with like chicken, they put a lot of hormones and stuff into those meats. We ingest that, and that could all play a factor in, messing us up.
Listen, and I don't want to down talk the military, but they say their food is fake.
Oh my God.
Just saying, their eggs be like powder eggs in the morning for breakfast. Everyone I know in the military is like, that food is shit.
I mean, it is, but I was eating my own food every day.
Oh, okay.
I was eating my own food. I wasn't in no crazy environment. I was HR. I was human resource. So the most I maybe was a couple of pins or something like that. But yeah, I eat my own food every day. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Don't hate me, Facebook world. I'm not down talking the military. I'm just saying.
She's like, yeah, their food is crap.
Y'all know Tracy, it don't have no filter when it comes down to some people.
Filter. So military people, if you are listening, that was that. Double T.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who was in all branches and they all agreed to that one thing where it's like, man, the
Well,
food.
come out with Tracy.
So statistically, there is no age range that it hits or ethnicity that it hits. Nobody is immune. Right?
Right.
It's more common in Black women than anything.
Is it?
Wow.
Yeah, they've said they said it's more common in Black women than any other race.
So that makes me think that environment might play a part in it too.
And eating.
And eating, like the type of foods. Now, I know this may be a little bit off topic, but let's talk about areas such as like low income, the type of foods that they have around them, right?
Microwave.
They have like a lot of fast food places that are close to them. They have I don't know if you guys have it, but a place called like Crown Fried Chicken or Lincoln Fried Chicken. They
We got
got
church fried
chicken
chicken.
joints. They
We
got
got
chicken
churches.
joints.
Got churches and Popeyes.
Chicken. Save is asking a question. She said, "Where did it come from?" I'm not. Can you specify your question a little bit more as far as what we were talking about? But yeah, I do think like when it comes to saying that Black women have it more, I wonder if that plays a part in the.
I think that that's what she's referring to. I could be mistaken, but I think she's talking about the statistic that Roz pointed out in regards to Black women getting.
I said it was something I saw. She can check it herself. I'm not a person that gonna sit up here. It's just something I heard that it was common in Black women. So she have to really do the research on it. It was just something I heard, and I just thought it was something I would share because it was something I heard. So she'll have to fact check it herself. But I'm not big on statistics, and what I hear, it popped up on the television, and that's why I got it from. So
she's saying, I've heard that white women are more prone to cancer and dying from it. I honestly thought it was a white thing too, but this is just me. I mean, I feel like a lot of white people get cancer, not even just breast.
So it may be, but it was something that I heard that put it and said that it was that. So it could be just possibly that commercial that I saw and I got the information off. That's why I said,
you know what? I saw a commercial as well. And I think I was telling you guys the other day, and I was just like, what the hell? Where do they get these numbers? Because you never know where they get these numbers, right? But it is projected that by the end of 2020, another 250,000 women will be diagnosed before the end of the year. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, first of all, where do they even get this information? On one end of the spectrum, I feel like, okay, you want to make people aware. You want people to know, hey, you're not immune. And so be aware. But then I don't like the fear that that's pumping either. And where'd you get that info? You know what I mean? Like, do you expect a 5% increase like it's a financial budget? I mean, what? It's not a financial forecast.
Right. And then on
top
top of that,
information from there.
It makes me think like, all right, y'all come up with these numbers. Are y'all about to inject these women with breast cancer? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you just forecasting something like that?
But that's where we get a lot of the stuff from, because even when we look at television, it tells us this is the group that is hitting the most. So of course you look at it and you like, okay, I need to be more prone to it. That's why I said I got the information. I was watching something on TV and I was like, wow, they really said that it was more prone to us. So maybe I need to check myself and make sure that I'm aware, but I don't know where they got the facts from. I was just stating what I got off television, what I got off something that I thought was real.
No, for sure. I also, the other day, so I don't watch like much TV. And when I do, it's not cable TV, even though I do have cable, right? So the other day I was sitting there with my mom watching one of the Madea movies on BET. And every time it broke for commercial, there was a breast cancer awareness commercial. Now, I know it's October and it's the month to bring awareness. And I don't want to like throw it out there because it's not like I haven't watched any, like, again, I'll walk in on my mom watching like 48 hours and that comes on, I don't know, ID channel or whatever, right? But I haven't seen no other breast cancer awareness commercials. this month. But
Yeah.
in watching that movie for that 2-hour segment, and that's where I got the statistic that I just dropped, the 250,000 was actually a commercial on BET. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, maybe it is just hey, let's make, our people aware type of situation. I don't know. But I feel like, when I watch, and I guess there's no white channel, but you figure most are. Right? But where's the commercial on those though?
The commercial, I think I know what commercial you was talking about, and they only use Black women in the commercial.
They sure did, of all shades and all tones.
It's on a Black entertainment network. So
if they're trying to make it all about just
why it ain't on NBC or Fox?
They didn't have it everywhere because that was the channel that they had it on.
Y'all gotta understand, television literally is tell lies to your vision. Like, but literally, they're literally programming us to feed off of the information that they're telling us. This is why we got to be careful, and we got to be mindful about how much intake we're doing with the tell lie vision, because we don't want to take that in as if it being fact. We don't want to do that. But also, just to bring it back real quick, Makisha, I want to know, like, do you have any advice that you would give to someone who may newly be going through breast cancer? Since you've been through it already, like maybe some words of encouragement or anything like that.
I would definitely say keep going, right? Because realize it's not. I know it's tough. Like I know for a fact it's tough. Like it could bring tears to my eyes. I'm not an emotional person, but in there is some tears about to come my eyes. But definitely keep going and just know that somebody else, like even though it's so rough and you're going through it, that testimony that you're going to get from going through it will be able to encourage somebody else. So how now, beforehand, I couldn't share my story. Like I would not share it, could not share it. Then I realized that other people are going through this. And it's very important to know that someone who looks like you actually survived it, right? And then kept on going with their life, right? Because I overstood that my life did not end right there, right? So I don't let that become my whole, what defines me. This is what I came after that. So whoever's going through it, whoever you know that's going through it, just be there for them, right? No matter if they're like, hey, leave me alone, just be there for them because they can feel your energy. They can feel. So if you come around them scared, watch a funny movie or something too. That's another thing I forgot to say. How Dee was saying earlier about what to intake. I started watching a lot of comedies because while you're going through this, it's gonna be some sad times, like the whole time. So if you can kind of like monitor what goes in and make sure it's something positive or something that's gonna make you laugh. It's okay to laugh while we're going through this. We need this. Laughter is actually a positive energy that'll help us just heal a lot faster. So definitely not just all over the place. Like I got so many things in my head for you all, but definitely just don't give up. Keep going. If you got somebody that's going through it, just be there for them. Whether if it's a hey, just checking on you, anything like that. Watch what you're putting in. Try to do some laughter, things like that. Watch the movies that you watch because a lot of movies now have so much depressing stuff in it. Because I remember one time when I first got diagnosed, went to go see a Tyler Perry movie, and one of the things in there was diagnosed with cancer. I was like, oh my God, we had to get up and leave because I'm like, so you definitely have to watch what you
know. His movies are emotional based.
Yes,
they are.
Yeah.
Are there that you're aware of? Because I definitely, I want to try in all of our episodes, no matter if we talk about something funny, crazy, sad, whatever that we're bringing awareness to, I really want to try to give people tools and resources. So are there support groups for maybe people who are survivors or going through it? Because physically it's one thing, but I really want to talk about the emotional. So like, are there support groups for people going through cancer where they can maybe talk to people who they can relate to?
So there are, like in Atlanta, I know we have Piedmont Hospital. They have like a whole ward and everything, but then they got different support groups. Like your oncologists would know, they can have different support groups, and you go like to the different hospitals or wherever it is they're holding the meetings at, and they give you like good gifts for one. But then you also get to be around people that are actually going through it. Because we can talk about it, with family members and stuff, but it's nothing like being around people that are actually going through it because they really do understand what you're going through. So it definitely are different support groups. Even for survivors, they do have support groups for that. But it's all about you taking that leap towards it, because you might just be like me and I'm like, nah, I'm good. but it is needed, especially for that mental. 'Cause that's what's going to get you through it. That mental, for real.
Got it. Got it. So
So
yeah.
Sabe came back and she said, just looked at the stats. White women are more likely to get breast cancer, but black women of color are more prone to getting aggressive forms, dying due to health disparities.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
okay.
definitely
But it's still
mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. So diagnosis wise, that makes sense. So diagnosis wise,
thank
perhaps
you,
for women get it more, but maybe Black people are actually passing from it more. And so that's why that makes sense. Then BET is trying to get ahead of it to like say, hey, get checked out because this is a thing, you know? Okay. Thank you, Save, for that info. And thanks for chiming in the
Yes,
conversation. We are always open to comments and anything. We definitely want the forum to be a
definitely.
discussion.
Women
So
are
thank you.
actually beautiful.
Yes.
Then
that's
another thing,
crazy though.
I know that they usually have like walks for cancer and stuff like that. Do they have like breast cancer awareness walks that you know? And do you feel as though those organizations are helping towards the awareness or even people who have breast cancer?
It's a very good question because I kind of have like mixed feelings about that. So definitely, they got the Susan walk, all these different walks come up in October, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way that I think it helps is for the person that's maybe going through it or somebody who you're remembering from it, stuff like that. As far as the mental aspect, I think it worked. You're like, hey, so I walked on your behalf today. It's like, oh wow, thank you, I appreciate that, right? But when it comes to whatever they're doing with the funds, I don't know because now after going through the chemo, the radiation, the surgeries, I have a whole different
That's a trade alert.
It's a trade idea.
Yeah,
JPY.
yeah, I was like,
I'm like,
For those that don't know, we are sisters, but we are sisters in trading, baby. We are on this investing bet. It's
money.
got an alert that it's a good move to trade on a certain on a certain pair. But anyway,
So all our phones went off.
oh
at
yeah,
the same time,
what was I going with?
that's a good thing. Where does the funds go? That is
Mm-hmm. So that's why I think about that because now I'm more of a I believe everything can be healed as far as with the body, as far as what we eat and what we put in with different herbs, stuff like that. I don't think we need the chemicals. Even though some people have done very well from the chemicals, right? So I can't really knock that, but just my personal, what's the name? Like if they're advocating both sides, then it's like, okay, cool. But more towards the holistic side. But we know there's money in medicine. So we do know that that's being.
And that's why they keep it going. But not only that, I think as far as reporting what they're doing with the money would be beneficial for people who are going through breast cancer awareness so that they can probably see like, oh, okay, I know that this money is going towards really helping people who have, breast cancer who may not be able to afford it, like how Save just pointed out, because of the disparities, a lot of Black women die from it. But if we're walking on behalf of breast cancer, why isn't that money being helped to lower those numbers of deaths? Not looking for an answer, but yeah.
Here's another thing. We keep referencing women. Men can get
yes,
breast cancer.
Yeah, they be having boobs too. Y'all men be having some boobs.
That is true.
And you know what? It's not even the size of the boob, right? It could be like muscular pecs, but it doesn't matter. It's still a breast. You know what I mean? And like how chickens have breasts. No. But regardless, it doesn't have to be like a fatty boob. It could be, you could be buff as hell. It does not matter. Like men know, be aware, so if maybe you have women in your family who have had breast cancer, it is a realistic thing to say, hey, you could be prone to it. Again, this is not to pump fear in anybody. It's really just to bring awareness. But no, this is a real thing. Like there is a Hispanic man in Los Angeles who he's an advocate for having men know that they could catch breast cancer. And so, yeah, that blew my mind when I heard it because I literally just found out maybe about a year ago.
Male actor, Richard Roundtree, that actually was the first male that I knew had breast cancer, and he went through the whole thing.
Yo, Save just put up another another statement, and she was talking about, well, she talks and says about her feelings in reference to chemo, but she says, but hospitals get an insane amount for performing cancer treatments. In
Wow.
fact, many doctors have been busted for giving false cancer diagnosis so that they can collect insurance payments. They're
Wow.
literally doing like a la carte on medical now. Like basically, like if you get some medicine, they're scanning like, all right, that's a charge.
Mhm.
And Tracy probably already knows this. Like,
Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know how much I could say because I don't want my job to be like, well,
right, 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 right.
but,
And
listen, I'm in medical billing. Western medicine is a business.
it is.
Just know that. The goal is not to treat, it's to have you come back. And the more things they do for you, the more they can charge. So just be mindful of that. Yes, I am in the medical field. I am in this business. However, I don't believe in Western medicine on a personal level. Like I said, I don't even vaccinate my kids. I home birthed my daughter after watching a movie called The Business of Being Born, which totally tells you how that business is, but I won't even get into that. Maybe that's another conversation.
That's a whole nother episode.
I was going to say that's a whole nother conversation as well, but I agree with Save entirely. I definitely didn't know that some hospitals were under scrutiny regarding false positives and having to, trying to charge for that. But I mean, hell yeah, every bag of IV they give you is a charge. Every time they offer you the apple juice, if you've been, whatever, every time they change your sheets on the bed, it's a charge. Every single thing is a charge. If the doctor comes in there to ask you how you're doing, it's a charge. And I know because I charge it. And so absolutely. You better tell them, don't talk to me, I'll call you when I need you, okay? And every time a different individual walks in there, it's a different tax ID and a different entity billing you. So the bills just keep on coming in. So yeah, no, I agree with her entirely on that. I think that there's a lot of things that we could just have holistic cures for, guys. Like we don't need to be poisoning ourselves to fix one issue to create another. Like you have to think that doesn't really make sense, right? So they do one thing to fix one thing and then something else is happening. Like Makisha just said, she did chemo, it was supposed to fix her breasts and stuff like that. And then what? Her nails are falling off. Now she has to go back to make sure her nails don't get sore or whatever, right? And now she has to go back for this, and now she has to go back for that. So now you're paying the oncologist for your cancer treatment. Now you're paying your PCP for, to make sure your nail bed doesn't get infected. And then if they refer you to infectious disease specialist, now your PCP is going to refer you to an infectious disease specialist. And now since that's a specialist, you get to, even if it's on the same day, boom, you get to charge another. So, I mean, without going too deep,
it goes on and on.
It goes on and on.
But real quickly, some suggestions that I think may help is juicing. There's a video on Netflix. I forgot what it's called, but this guy was like 400 pounds and he challenged himself to juice.
Oh yeah.
And, if you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments or something. But he literally got himself in shape to the point where he was running and jogging, got rid of all the diseases that they told him. And it was really remarkable to see that he did not take the Western medicine way, but literally went into juicing fruits and veggies, making sure that he got his intake of fruits and vegetables in. Maybe even look into some supplements and some herbs that may help you. Instead of always depending on Western medicine to be the cure. Somebody said alkalizing the body is a decent way to combat cancer. Yeah, cancer can't live in an alkalized body. It can't. Exactly. So if you're doing that, you're making sure that you are eating your fruits, your vegetables. You might even decide to go vegan or vegetarian. These are things that may help. I remember Makisha saying, like, when she started getting the broccoli shoved down her throat, that she started feeling alive again. So those are things that will help to give you energy.
And I was juicing too during that time.
Yeah,
I was juicing down my throat too.
I love juicing and smoothies.
So listen, ladies. Okay, so we've been on here like an hour. I want to definitely kind of bullet point some takeaways because, of course, that's how my analytical brain works, right? So definitely takeaways. Know your options, guys. Makisha said, you know, you don't have to go the chemo route. That is your choice. All of this is your choice, and no one can force you into a decision. If that's not something you want to do, there are alternatives. Make sure you research it, look into it, and make the choice that works best for you, for your family, for your life, and all of those things. Okay. So don't let these Western medicine people push you into something. As preventative measures, definitely watch what you eat. We'll probably do an episode on food because I'd love to touch on that a little bit more.
I love food, period.
Because, you know, our Indian herbs and spices is with the shit. Turmeric could save lives.
So
like put turmeric in everything.
Spicy make my nose run like immediately. It be getting all that mucus out.
Yes. In being supportive for people, even if they push you away because they're like Makisha and they don't, you know, want to seem vulnerable or weak, or maybe they're just trying to be strong for you, right? So still show up, knowing your family or your friend or whoever it is that's going through this. Just show up, maybe even showing up to put on a funny movie, like she said, right? Yeah, and then watch your input, which I think that's the bottom line in everything in life. Watch your input, because, you know, mindset is everything. Look in your area for support groups. If Atlanta has one, I'm sure everywhere has one, right? So look in your area for support groups, because if you feel like your loved ones can't relate, they probably can't. They're probably trying to show up the best that they can, but they can't relate. Only people that can relate is the people who went through this. So definitely look for support groups. Take care of your mental health.
Facebook. They can use social media.
Oh.
Social media go into the search bar, put in like what you're looking for, and there will be there'll be endless amount of group. They got groups for everything. I'm trying to tell you. You can find a group that will be able to assist you in there. You can put in support group for breast cancer, support group for whatever it may be that you need support for. I'm about to find a support group for these dogs because they get on my.
Ooh, that's how I feel about my cats. Okay, we need a whole support group. Did I miss anything, guys? Any other takeaways we want to make sure that people get?
No, and as usually if you have any questions, because, you know, I never mind, you know, hopping on like a Zoom with somebody, anything like that. So if you have somebody that's going through it, you know what I'm saying, just let me know.
Yeah, so that's Makisha. Where can they reach you at, Makisha?
I'm on Facebook at Makisha Styles, right? It's my name. Instagram, Makisha Styles. I keep it very simple. So in any one of those, you can definitely message me, and I'll definitely.
Is that with a Y, a I?
Yeah, it's Styles with an I.
All
right, awesome.
Oh, let me know when the next call is. When our next.
Oh, yes.
Are we telling them, wait. Are we telling them the topic, or are we just telling them?
Because look, we ain't about to be heavy with y'all every time, but we definitely, like I said, this is our first show, but definitely there's going to be funny shit. There's going to be serious shit. There's going to be taboo shit. There's going to be after hours shit. Okay. So we're super excited because next week it's going to be about lingos from different area codes.
Lingos from different area codes. You'd be so surprised. Listen, we need y'all to show up. Make sure y'all come in and talk about y'all different lingos, because y'all from all over too. So we need to know what y'all got for us.
What y'all say in your city that we don't know what the hell that means. Or one term in another city could mean something else in another city. So we definitely want to know. Show up. Tell us where you're from. What do they say in your hood? And yeah, it should definitely be funny. Because like I said, when we talk daily, guys, we're from different places. And sometimes I'm like, what are you talking about? I have no idea. You eating what? What? We call that but I won't give you too much. But yes, definitely. So same place, same time, right? Sunday.
Same time. Bring your wine or your tea, water, beer, you know.
I'll clear out my liver for the week, so next time I could have wine in my cup.
Hey. But also this video, Makisha, we'll have this video uploaded so for people who may have missed it can catch the recording, right?
Yeah, of course. Yes, and it's gonna be on all our Facebook pages too. So definitely share it with a friend. You know, make sure you share. Just wherever you're at, if you're watching the replay, still share it with a friend, because I think everyone actually needs to be aware and know this information.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And even if you watch this on the playback, guys, and if you have a question, we would love to talk about that. And not only that, but if you have information you can share, with us, with the world, right? Let's talk about it. Because again, this tea sipping is for sharing information. That's what
Well,
it's.
yeah, y'all come with y'all tea too.
Okay, come with
Come
your
with
tea
y'all
too.
Next week, we're going to ask y'all in the comments what y'all drinking. So be prepared. We want to know what y'all drinking too. And
Matter
like
of fact, then drop it in the comments. Drop a picture of you with your cup in the comments.
drop a picture with you and put your cup in the comments. And like Tracy said, if you have any questions or comments, and if you're like my friend or your Tracy or Rod's friend, Makisha, hit us up in our inbox so that we can get this popping, y'all. We here for y'all.
Yes, yes. I want to personally thank Makisha for being so vulnerable and sharing all this awesome information, because a lot of people, such as myself, are really ignorant on this, right? And so it kind of it's very informative to hear something firsthand like this. And you didn't have to do this. Like you said, you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to teach us what you taught us so much today. And so thank you for that.
No problem, no problem. I'm here for you all,
Rod, you got any last comments?
I'll just thank everybody for hopping on our very first episode.
Hey, woo! Oh, wait.
Yes.
Wait.
Do the signature for Makisha.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Mine don't look as hefty as hers. I gotta get my weight up.
I got on a tight shirt. It's a tight shirt.
We appreciate it a lot. Thank Makisha and for being open with us and and wanting to share and show that side that she really don't show to too many people, and she just let you inside of her world. And that's amazing. Thanks, Tracy,
Yes.
for bringing the energy like she always does, and just being here.
100.
Be hitting with the hard questions and coming through like stuff. This is what we do all day long when we're on the phone. And I'm usually the same way, quiet.
I know it'll be me and Tracy always like, no, my turn.
Seriously, damn it. No.
So we gave y'all a piece of how we interact. Like we literally be on the phone like this every day. So we gave you
for sure. And so join our girl chats. Join our girl chats.
Definitely.
Thank everybody for being here, and people that are watching from Facebook, from our Facebook lives and where we shared. We appreciate it.
And we're going to have a Facebook page soon just for this.
Yes, we are. So that way the show will come on that page. So more to come on that. Stay tuned. But we definitely love you guys and wish you a happy rest of the evening or whenever you're watching this morning.
So let me just explain this to you real quickly. A lot of people do peace like this. This is separation. This is a divide, right? So when you bring it together, you're saying, I'm giving you peace together, oneness, wholeness. This is peace.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
I didn't know that either, because I always do this.
Yes, this is why. This is wholeness. Because when you do that, you're saying separate, apart. When
you know, with the gems, D.
Yeah, when you do it like this,
you better teach us, girl.
That's that love.
For peace.
Oh, one last thing, and I know that we already done said that we
say one last thing all the time. This is literally what happens on the phone every day.
One last thing, and this is really, really crazy. But like we was talking about the breast exams and stuff. Let me tell you why I don't want it. Like even when the kids come and like lay up on you a little bit too much, and then they squish your breast in, that be hurting and stuff. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know if y'all ever experienced that where somebody like may have laid up on your breast and pushed it in all tight.
I don't have all of that, so I don't know. So it doesn't hurt me.
I'm just with that.
You got the big girls over there. Yeah.
Well, Roz, you got some big girls too, but
yes, you do. What do you mean?
He's sitting up. Hers is bigger, so I mean,
can't see that. All we see is the top of your shirt.
Oh, my boobs are not that as big as D. Renee's boobs. See?
Yes,
your shirt. Your boobs are huge. What you talking about?
So I don't know, y'all close right there now, yeah.
No, her boobs can sit horses on top of them. So I don't know what she's talking about.
I'm like, I'm out of this conversation because it don't hurt me. I be feeling like other people hurt because I don't have enough cushion. What you laying on? Get a pillow. You know, you just
All
want.
right, y'all. We just took
Gotta get off.
And the funny thing is, we probably get on a phone call right after this.
You know
Yeah.
we will. Okay, I'm gonna call y'all in a minute.
All right, cool.
Hey, Facebook, we love you. Peace and love, baby. See you next week.